from the chips.
Oh, is it just crunch?
So much crunching, so much crunching, so much chewing.
That was a really, really short session last time, I think.
Was it? It was like 3
Felt-
hours.
It felt short.
It went by
I was
quick.
feeling sick and I was chugging wine, so I just fell asleep.
Hey, you all take a long rest.
Yeah.
Alright. One.
7.
Oh, I got a 5.
Alrighty. I got a 1. So
What?
we are fresh off defusing the bombs. We fell way down to the bottom of the whole tower section. We're like below even the base of Sharn, down in this place called the
Cogs.
Cogs. And it's like super chaotic. There aren't even really roads or buildings. It's just like hovels and like weird caves. And what's the structure like mainly? It's mostly like stone.
It's stone or like foundation. Like
Okay.
Sharn kept building on top of itself, so there's weird ruins and stuff down there too, ruined buildings that are centuries old that just fallen apart. People use the structures to
Okay.
live out of.
So we kind of got scattered, and eventually, Trud was causing some problems and stabbing some fools. So we kind of got that under wraps. Ended up getting chased out of the place. Went through this shanty town. Got kind of frazzled with some really scruffy looking dragonborns.
Burned everything to the ground.
Terrence started a huge fire, committed some major arson, completely just escaped
Just disregarded it.
as fast as we could.
Ooh, spooky Chris. Hi, spooky Chris.
Okay.
Spoopy. What's up, Jess?
Hi.
So we escaped out of the shanty town, got up to a slightly less decrepit looking shanty town. There were a bunch of it was a big Warforged refugee camp, right?
Kind of. It was the machinery of that keeps Sharn going.
Okay. So there were a lot of
power
foundries.
and
Okay. So they pointed us toward this place called the Dosk, which is this monster mafia that we found was associated with Conlin from Woodhelm, the noseless mob guy. And then they pointed us to one of the leader who was in charge, this Siva lady who had bandages over her eyes. I think she had she was a Medusa, right? She had snakes for hair and shit. So Alan kind of negotiated a deal where they would get all the monies from whatever moon fruit hobo wine we can make, and we got a whole bunch of money from Conlin that we have to get out of Carnathi Bank. Was that right?
Oh, right. The stuff that you've embezzled. 12,000 gold, right?
Yeah. And then they arranged passage for us. Oh, first we bombed it real bad. Terrence was talking and said we were do-gooders, and she just started turning him to stone. And then Quincy used the time reversal watch thing.
Oh, that's right.
And had a sneezing fit before he could say it. So we got out of there, and then we ended up at Goose Fires, right?
Yeah.
And we stayed the night there. And then he
Right.
He told us some shit about Thundering Creed and the Arum.
Watch out for
Am I missing anything?
Yes.
I think we spent the night. We gotta sleep.
He was part of the RM too, right?
Right.
Goose Fire was also he was like a low ranking member.
He told us not to mess with them.
And then we were just deciding where to go in the Fang.
And we decided on the Demon Waste.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're doing that.
7 years.
The guy from the basement, the keep or whatever. His journal.
Yeah.
It flushed my seeds.
Do we have that guy's journal with us?
I already hit that.
I can't see. You're on TV, but
Oh,
no, see, now I'm on TV. Wait. Yeah, see, I wasn't on TV then, but now I am. But now I'm not. But now I am. Wait, oh, there I am.
My sound balance is really off. Hold on. Wee.
yeah. You're like really tiny.
Who's this? I think they're liking it.
Oh yeah, you're talented there, kid.
What are you waiting for?
Um.
John's fixing the sound.
Yeah, sorry, my balance is really off. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I can hear both you guys equally. It was Chris was super loud and you guys were I couldn't barely hear. But I think I got stuff balanced. Okie dokie.
Alright, and where did we leave off?
You were in like the Goose Fire's borrowed mansion up in like Skyway in Shard.
Yeah, we were deciding where to go next.
Come on. You're a cat. Jump, asshole. Let's go. Oh no.
So what? We decided that we're gonna go after that guy whose journal we found.
Yes, Warbach Belgard.
Okay, and all we have is some clue, like where he got lost. Yeah.
We have his journal
Mhm.
that was in the house that we got.
You
When they
bring
gave
my
us
readers.
the vineyard.
Well, we have his like diary, but there's a supposed other journal filled with more information.
Okay.
So in this diary that we have, there's like one detail of.
Yeah, it was like the latest of his journals that he left there. It was like his last journals. It said like Journal 5 on it. This one wasn't really all filled out. It just had like one lead that he was chasing down and another one that he had found out. They had to go chase the lead in like the ruined library in the Demon Wastes. And then the rest of the journal was blank.
Okay, so we're thinking that if we head to the wastes, maybe we'll uncover something.
Yeah, I guess that's the thought.
And do we know how to get there?
Not.
You pretty much just go like northwest. You like fly over Breland. You go past another country that's just a giant magical forest called the Eldine Reaches, over a mountain range, and then into the Demon Wastes.
So, like countries away, basically, from the map we're looking
Yeah,
at.
it's pretty far away.
Like if Sharn is like California, it's like Nova Scotia.
It'd be like
Something
going
out
from like
west.
Texas to like Washington.
Okay.
But we got a spaceship.
You
Yep.
do.
Well, that's what we said we'd do, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
What else is there to do?
I thought there was something with we now have active teleporting circles.
To get back here, yeah. Or what's the extent of the circles that we got? Do we have like all different locations, or is it just this one?
Just the ones we know of.
Well, even I think you did unlock. You unlocked a few. I don't remember. I wrote them down somewhere, or maybe I just pulled them out of my ass. I don't remember.
We should have those written down.
There's Vape Invades.
Yep.
There's
That King's Tomb,
Yeah.
right?
the Gorge.
By the bridge we blew up.
Mm-hmm. You unlocked one here in Sharn with that book.
Yeah. Well, there's one in our state.
I think there was one in Thrain, which is north of you. I think the Demon Waste is just like kind of an uncivilized, like terrible barbarian place. I don't think there would be any like teleportation circles that are like actively maintained there.
Sure.
Yeah, we should go there.
Unbridled wilderness.
Yeah. Alan is all for going to the Demon Waste.
Shooting hogs from a helicopter. Bring it. Yeah, do we need to stop by the house or anything? Do we have the journal with us?
Yeah, I'll say you have the journal with you.
Okay.
I say eat a hearty
The
breakfast.
Demon Waste is like a country, though. Like it's not
Yeah.
something that you can just like fly around and hopefully look for a library. I mean, you could try that, but you don't really know where the library is in this place, or really anything about the Demon Wastes.
Right,
Oh,
I
yeah.
suppose we would hunt for a city or something.
Or an establishment.
So you want to just fly over the city till we find something? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, we could check with someone who has worldly knowledge and see if
That's what I'm thinking. Like while we're still here, like
Do a bit of research.
what resources do we have? Yeah. There's that one. What library got blown up? That was in.
Morgrave.
No,
Yeah, Morgrave. They'd probably know stuff.
well, yeah.
Yeah, Morgrave is currently in the tower that's leaning, that's like under like a state of emergency at this point.
That's true.
The library that was burned to the ground by the dragons in
Troll.
Trollenport.
So Largo, right? Okay.
This like mansion that Goosefire is lent you. It's not his. He's borrowing it from a friend of his. That's like the big land that has like the main mansion. There's two mansions on this. This is the guest mansion. This has a small library in it. It's not super extensive, but might have something.
Yeah, it's worth a look.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Okay. You walk upstairs to the third floor. There's a large library with domed glass ceilings. Huge, large fireplace in the center, like a big fire pit and like a chain curtain over it. There's quite a many books here.
Look, I'm mainly looking for like atlases, maps, anything of like general geography. Just looking for cities, names, anything of notice in that general area.
Pretty easily with maps and atlases you can pull out without really rolling anything. If you're going to like look for things specifically on the Demon Wastes, I'll have you roll like an investigation.
Okay. Ooh, 18.
Very nice. You pull up the maps and atlases. There is that map. Is that still in the group me? I can copy and paste it.
Gropeme.com.
It's a different website. More of a Craigslist thing.
I see him out. Oh, because you just put it there.
Oh, is that just super stupid?
Fairly low res, unless it's still loading on my end.
Yeah, mine turned out like that too. Well, wait. Yeah, I'll just post. I'll just post a link.
Hey John, were you able to individually change your sound levels?
I attempted to. I couldn't really find anything, so I just turned mine down all the way, just to get everybody down.
Okay. So I'm hearing you real clear, but when my brothers talk, I can barely make it out.
Yeah, I was having trouble hearing them too.
I moved the mic closer.
Is that one better, Rez? Can you see a little bit better? No.
Yeah,
I can
that's
prob-
better.
Is it better now?
A little bit.
Alright. I could probably boost the mic.
So if you zoom in on that
Nice.
map, there's like there's the Demon Wastes up in the northwest corner.
Yeah.
From looking around in it, or from looking around in the atlases, what you can find, there's not really not a lot of information on it because it's not like a settled place. It's one of the only places in Corvair with active volcanoes. One of the largest parts along the southern belly of the Demon Wastes is called the Labyrinth, which is the largest naturally occurring canyon in the world.
Cool.
It's just, it's rife with caves and strange myths and legends of things. You find a weird anecdote about the age of demons, while dragons and taught giants magic and everything. The demons rose up on this plane to like conquer everything. There was a huge, gigantic like creation war. Supposedly, this is where they came from, or this is where they were based out of. The only like solid information you get is that it's mainly inhabited by warring clans of tribesmen. You find two different names. Specifically, you find the Vicarian. What are they called? Vicarian tribes, which are just seem to be like barbaric. They file down their teeth. They are rumored to be cannibals. You hear everything from they're half demons to they're the refugee Sarlonan people stranded there a millennia ago when the storm wall out, or when the mountains rose up out of the earth because the demons called them. That's the Carrion clans, and then the other main clan that you read of is called the Garash Kala, or the Ghost Guardians. They're called in Orc. They're said to be more diplomatic, but their main charge is to keep people out of the Demon Wastes, to not disturb the evil spirits that live there. Generally, they'll let people in. They won't force them or try to actively. The stories that you find is that they'll let you in. They'll warn you first, and when you try to come back out, they'll kill you for being tainted.
And what was the name of that part?
They mainly inhabit the Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, okay.
The ongoing war between the Carrion clans and the Garash Kala, or the Ghost Guardians, inhabits the Labyrinth. there's one, I guess, it's not civilization, but there is one city called Ashtakla, which is a congregation of different tribes of the Carian tribesmen. One small journal that you find that was published is that it's openly people openly worship demons.
This is in the same city.
What?
This is in the same city, Ashtakala or whatever.
Yeah, that's the kind of the one
Conglomerate.
place of civilization.
Right.
But that's the Carian, like the Carian clans all kind of meet up there. Don't kill each other, but like it's one place where there's actually like a settlement, I guess,
Okay.
with like semi-permanent structures. But yeah, other than that, it's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
There's an ancient orc compound called Maruk Dar that's in the labyrinth. That's said to be a helm of an orcish king, like millennia ago. Yeah. Sulfuric clouds and large mountains, earthquakes, that kind of thing. It's fucking Mordor, is what it is.
Sounds like Ashtakala is the way to go.
Yeah.
Hearty breakfast and set out for Ashtakala.
This is gonna be Is Goosefire still around?
Goosefire left because the shipment of the fuel shipment for the airship was arriving this morning.
Okay, so we gotta wait for that before we check off.
Can I pour over the journals again to see if there's any more detail other than he's on the continent?
Yeah, sure. Roll a. Since Ballstar found them, I'll give you advantage on history to kind of delve in and see what you can find.
Okay. That's an 18.
18. So, what are you looking for specifically?
Hints, clues about a particular area of the demon wastes.
Which area?
Well, where like hinting at where we might find where we left off.
Okay.
Anything that might like give me a tell for what region, what city.
Okay. You dove kind of far in. You hear. You read. It's not really about the demon waste specifically. It's about it's about like early history, supposedly in the Age of Demons. About one like semi-humanoid, not empire, but it's like city that was like the one shining beacon that kind of stood against what you kind of piece together is Rajas. It's in a weird tongue. You have to kind of like back translate it. But the word is like some really long orcish name, and you kind of figure out the etymology of it. And it from what you can tell, it's like Rajas or kings is what they call these like demons. But there's one city that kind of stood against the rising tides of this that rose up. From the accounts that you can find, they're not like human or dwarf or elf. They are described as being like tall, 8-foot, lanky things with large but it was supposed to be like one of the first bases of like civilization before like everybody else was enslaved by other more powerful things. These were the first kind of civilization to rise up, and it was in the Demon Wastes. Yeah, there's a city, but from what you can read on, it just says the city disappeared, not the people. Like the city disappeared. And what you do see mentioned is that the crowning achievement of this strange unnamed proto civilization was the great shining beacon was the library called Biblios.
Hey.
But the whole city's missing.
Yeah.
So if it disappeared, what was Maruk Dar supposed to be by the labyrinth there?
That was supposed to be like an old orcish city. That was ruined once the orcs went nomad. So instead of like those the human like weird human half orc, there's like the demon tribes and like the weird the ghost guardians. There are kind of all around the outskirts of the labyrinth. There's like roaming orc tribes.
Is there anything that you guys spotted about like the languages that are spoken?
Yeah, you know anything about that, Terrence?
From what you can find, a lot of the root words are definitely in like orcish, or a weird kind of old draconic. Sometimes a weird Klingon mix of the two.
Who speaks Orc?
I might. Let me check my character sheet here.
Probably Babs.
Do Barbalina's character sheet?
No,
She's a drow.
Yeah, she's not a half orc.
Oh.
No, I speak Goblin.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
Rutram. Do we hire a translator?
Good spell setting.
Do those last long enough now?
It lasts like an hour.
Do we even know?
Well,
anyone?
my instinct would be a volcano.
What about a volcano?
And there looks like there might be one by the capital city, the Ashtakala.
The Ash Beacon?
Yeah.
Bakam!
Why do you think volcano?
A city that disappeared. I mean, it could be by the sea, it could be in the canyon, or it could be in a volcano. Those would be the three most likely reasons for a city to be destroyed.
I think we need someone who can speak the language.
Yeah. Thiesel's an orc, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We could try and find Basil.
Cecil's district was the one that got.
He might be homeless and need something to do.
We're thinking we need a translator. Terrence,
Yeah, Basil's an orc.
is he still alive though? Can you message him?
You did message him. You got no response.
Woof.
Okay, I'll try again. I'm gonna try to message him.
What do you send?
just, Diesel, please respond. Are you okay?
15 seconds goes by. Goes into a minute, 2 or 3 minutes, nothing.
I'm tired. Well, I mean, someone wants to cry?
Yeah, I could. I'll do that, I guess.
Okay. Do they have to roll something, or do you have to roll something?
I'm looking up right now.
I'm sure we've got something of his on off. Took a bunch of shit out of his medicine cabinet.
Target makes a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know target. Familiar is a -5.
Anything else?
Yeah,
Interesting.
if we have a possession of his.
I'd say you probably have a possession of his.
Okay, so that would give me a said -5 to the roll. No, -9 total.
Okay. I think you you cast the spell, you get everything kind of ready. You do the quick little ritual, looking into like a little basin of water to try to figure something out, like focus on the water and the calmness. You close your eyes and you can feel that weird sensation of like your vision being sucked out of your own back head, and traveling and traveling and traveling. And it just kind of fades into static, and poof, you're back in your own head. It didn't seem to have worked.
Would I have any way of knowing if it was resisted or it just didn't work?
You don't know.
Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm not getting anything.
Alright, who else can speak Orc? What about, didn't we go to a town full of goblins and stuff?
Yeah, it's just far away.
Dargoon.
There's got to be somebody we could hire.
We could just hire someone in Ashtakala.
Yeah, they'll have people there that'll speak common, I'm sure.
I don't know if it's super cut off.
Yeah,
And there are a bunch
I'd
of,
rather have somebody we trust. What's that mercenaries?
Grey Wardens.
Yeah, would the Grey Wardens have any outfit in Sharn?
They do, but it's not like the Grey Wardens is kind of like region specific for the Mournland.
Okay.
They're a branch of House Denieth, which is kind of like a bodyguard service. Like it's the Dragonmark House of Protection, so they do like a lot of bodyguard and like mercenary work.
That sounds like where we'd want to go.
yeah.
Yeah, anywhere else we want to head before we head over there?
How about the bank so we can pay them?
Yep.
House Kundarak Bank, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
The biggest House Kundarak Bank is the one that you scryed on Thunder and Creed at.
Oh, right.
But there's smaller banks kind of scattered throughout, especially here in Skyway. You could probably find not up. I think it's mostly residential, but if you go down to like the top levels of Sharn, you'll be able to find a bank pretty easily.
Okay.
And so we're killing time until the refueling actually happens anyway, aren't we?
More or less. I was thinking, what if there's a way we could shrink our boy Tread, make him little? You know what I mean? In case we need to like be a little bit less conspicuous.
He's laying in the front room of the manse, and you say his name, and he kind of perks up. He kind of licks his lips. He looks at you like quizzically.
I start playing with him.
Okay.
I just think while we're here, maybe we can get Goose to wrangle us up some sort of item that can make him a little more smaller or something. when we need to.
For the shot.
I think you have a potion. You on off has a couple potions of reduce and large.
I'm thinking something more permanent, like what we can do. That works for the time being, for sure. Okay, why don't we hit the bank up?
Okay. Pretty easily. There's no real problem with the bank. You go in, deposit or give them the little writ of checking. Turn in, and they give you. They ask if you want big coins or small coins.
We need a mixture.
Okay.
Let's
They give
actually
you,
go.
a lot of platinum, a lot of gold, a lot of silver, a lot of copper. You get a whole spread.
All right, I will count it obsessively and then give it to Quincy for the bag.
All right.
I think look for House Dennyth outpost then.
There's probably not going to be a lot of Denieth up in the upper parts of Sharn. If you go about mid-level, a lot of the adventurous districts will have House Denieth outposts that you'd be able to hire from.
Is Goosefire's shop open? No, his tower collapsed. Obviously. Okay. Yeah, I guess would I be able to reach Goosefire before we leave?
Yeah, sure. You haven't heard of him yet. He said he'd send you a message when he's got the fuel.
Okay.
And if you wanted to meet him by the airship, he'll be there to deliver it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll meet up with him there then. Cool. Denny's time?
Yeah, mid-level.
Let's go.
Let's see. Can't remember what house Denny's sigil is. Okay. Yeah, you get down to one of the adventurers districts, one of the many. That's specifically outfitted for people that are traveling to, get supplies. There's a couple weapons shops, blacksmiths, a few kind of like lower magic shops that specialize in things and keeping you alive. You find a squat, sturdily built dark wood building that has a large crest of a chimera on it. So it's like a bull's head, a dragon's head, and a goat head. Kind of coming out, you see there's a lot of people in and out of it. It looks like the front room looks pretty open. It's not like a door. It's like almost just like a covered roof. And there's a small like meeting quarters there. There's like tables kind of exposed to the open air. And there's buildings kind of in a U shape around that. But there's kind of like this open area courtyard that's covered in the main part of it. And there's a whole bunch of gruff looking motherfuckers there. A lot of armor, some people just beards, and some just a whole spray of kind of tough looking people like yourselves. A lot of adventurer types.
Nice. Is there like a counter or someone who discusses rental rates?
Yeah, sure. There's someone there. You get up to the counter. You kind of strut in. You blend in pretty well with everybody else. There's a couple large fires contained. People are kind of like getting close to the fire and out of the rain. There's a small stand of like people are selling like small beers. You get up to the counter. Somebody's writing something down, helping somebody else out. They get done. A woman looks up. She's got kind of like braided pigtails. There's a dwarf woman. She's wearing large white furs, sitting on a stool, looking kind of bored as she's writing in a book. She perks up and goes, "Hello, welcome to House Danieth. How can we serve?"
I'm looking to recruit someone with a special skill.
Okay, what kind of skill are you looking for?
We need a linguist, and we need someone who's not afraid to check out one of the most uncharted places.
Okay. She lifts the book, goes through a couple of tabs, and goes through, searches a few. Okay. I have a few here that are under the linguists. What language are you looking for?
We need Orcish and
Demon.
Or
Abyssal, fiendish. Are those even languages?
well, Orc is all I really know of, and I mean it would be nice if they had familiarity with if there's
Demon
demon
languages.
script. Yeah.
Yeah, any kind of demon worship.
you say demon worship. She's in the middle of doing it, and her eyes kind of like come up suspiciously. Why would you want someone versed in demon worship?
We need someone who like just knows the terminology and the history of it. We're heading over to the demon wastes, and we're just ignorant. And a lot of
Ooh, that sounds unpleasant. Yeah, we do have someone. I think I saw him yesterday. He's here in the book. He should be in residence. His name's Enric. Yeah, I'll send someone to get him, I guess. She screams over. She goes, "Hey, Daryl! Could you find Enric for me? Yeah. Well, I don't fucking know where he is. He was here last night. I don't know. They'll find him. Please take a seat. If you like, we'll put him over to your place. He can discuss the different payment. He'll bring up the terms here, and we'll sign the contract, and he'll get it out. He's not marked though. He's not dragon marked. So he doesn't have a lot of the special skills some of the other dragon marks do, if that's okay. He's just an affiliate.
We're mostly interested in the languages.
He does very well.
what are his combat specialties though?
She looks down, kind of like undoes a tab in the page, like undoes another tab and scrolls it out. She's like looking at it and goes, as far as the abilities, I'm not sure. Although Enric is known here, he's been here for a month. Nobody's really hired him. He's a bit of a nuisance. Me in particular, he seems to have taken a shining to. However, she's reading. Not a lot of combat prowess. He says he has skills with a saber, but he has himself registered as a non-combatant.
Okay,
Fair enough.
just curious.
You guys kind of take a seat by one of the fires, sit down. You guys are all kind of handed small watery beers just to sip on. About 25 minutes later, you see somebody kind of stumble out of one of the doors. It's almost like a motel. There's like small rooms kind of lining this main like indoor outdoor area. Someone who kind of stumbles out. He's got he's wearing this bright yellow tunic that's like laced in like red. Underneath, like some sort of chain shirt is kind of dangling out. His skin is a deep orange color. You can see there's traces of different like weird veins of different colors kind of marble through the skin. He's got kind of a pointed, like almost too sharp chin, really high cheekbones that crest into large curling horns. He's tall. He could be handsome if he wasn't very devilish in appearance. You can see all around his neck, he just has chains and a whole bunch of different jewelry. It looks like all around his neck, all around his wrists. He's got jewelry, and he's got an empty scabbard kind of tied back behind that in like a real Middle Eastern style, something that's very curved and almost comes to a point. It's hanging with like large tassels. He stumbles out. He smiles at the person that was knocking on his door. He gives a purring little bow. He goes up to the counter. You see that The woman at the counter just kind of rolls her eyes as he comes up and just leans. He just starts like purring words at her, and she's just having none of it. She just points. He purrs at her again. She points. She's like, "Fuck out of here." He shrugs, and then saunters over your way. He goes, "Good evening, friends. How are you? I am Inrik. You wish to conscript my services?"
Enric, we're interested in your ability to translate Orcish and possibly demonic tongues.
Ah, it sounds like a very interesting place you are going. Where are you going?
Have you been to the Demon Wastes?
No. No. Thank you. Thank you.
Whoa!
He just starts.
Hold it there, friend. I've heard that you...
He stops. You say, "Hold it there." Like all of his like chains and everything jingle. Now that he's up close person, or he's closer to you, you see he's wearing probably 13 or 14 different holy symbols around his neck.
Oh. Is this your hesitation in going?
Yes, of course. No place. There's no wine. There's no women. Just large, sweaty men, bears, demons. It sounds horrible.
I'm told that you've not had work in about a month since joining here.
Yeah, I'm taking myself a small vacation. This is all.
This is a...
I bet your funds are running a little low there, partner.
Perhaps. I always have other ways I can get money if I wish.
I think this is
How
your
much-
main way.
What?
I
Go
think this is your ticket to huge earning
That's-
success.
I am a scholar. I am a man of the world. I do not wish to go to a place where there's no world to live in.
I think, on the contrary, not many people in the world have ever been to this place. This is a big resume enhancement.
You see, Inrik, we're a group of treasure hunters, if you will. So there's a definite opportunity here to come upon large amounts of wealth.
He stops turning away. He kind of goes up on the platter of the small beers you were given. He picks one up and kind of slowly takes a big couple gulps. You'll have my attention.
Hey, you do what's called books, right? With reading?
I have been known to read several dozen languages, yes.
We're trying to go after this legendary for disappearing library that's supposed to be based out there. It's called the Biblio or something like that. And we're going to be scanning over different settlements, trying to find a place, talking to different indigenous tribes, finding our way to this library. If you think you're a man of the world, this could be quite your opportunity to whatever kind of hidden knowledge you're looking for. We're just looking for somebody to help us talk to the people around there.
What kind of payment are you offering?
What's your asking rate?
I'd like for you to start off negotiations. What do you think is fair?
Well, we've got, 6 original party members? You would be 7. It's a generous day. Let's cut you in for 20% of the take. A full 5th.
Is this are you expecting sorts of danger? Are you
Most
expecting,
definitely.
monsters, mind flayers, beholders, and slugs? I do not do slugs or snakes.
No, mostly just orcs.
Any of those.
We lost the last 3 seconds of what you said, John. Sorry.
Oh, he says, mind flayers, beholders, aberrations, really any other kind, slugs, and snakes. I see, I walk away. I do not. No. Anything that gets into those, I drop and I walk away.
We will handle any of that sort.
Okay. Would there be very much fighting, you think?
This is a possibility. Are you, can you wield the sword you carry?
Of course. I am a fantastic swordsman. However, when I draw my sword, something must die. So I do not like to draw it very often. And he reaches back and pulls up the scabbard that doesn't have the sword in it. He plays it cool, hopes that you don't notice that there's not a sword in it. He goes, "Excuse me." He goes back up to the counter, and you see him like furiously talking with the dwarf woman, and she shrugs. They talk for a second. He spends like a minute, kind of like looking around like the corners of the the little open yard. Finally, you see him like pull a heavy chair away, and he comes back and there's this beautiful red sword stylized. It's metal, but it's stylized with like crashing waves. He, like holds it up in the light and like spits on it and like rubs it on his tunic. Puts it back in the sheath. Walks over.
Look,
As I was saying, there is Thrawn. Someone must die. So I do not like to draw it very often because I do not like killing people.
Enric, it's obvious that judging by your weapon there, you're clearly a man of of great skill with the blade. So we'll handle most of the fodder, if you will. You won't have to concern yourself with the small fights.
You seem like reasonable terms. No slugs, no snakes. The library you said we were going to, yeah?
That's what we're after.
I would like to be able to pick, if we find this library, I would like to, on top of the 20%, I would like to be able to pick one thing to keep as my own. I reserve that right.
I mean, as long as it's not putting any of us in danger, it's fine by me.
When there is a certain relic that is the object of our aim, and once obtained, you may claim to anything except that one artifact.
These are fair. 20% plus that. You are providing transportation for me as well, I assume, coming up with you.
Yep,
Correct.
and protection.
Do I have to buy my own food, or will you be producing that as well?
Where do we ever get food?
Good berries, baby.
Everything's a banana.
I make a delicious pemmican.
A pemmican. Oh, that sounds
we will,
interesting for it.
We will be providing food.
Fair enough. Let me go talk to my beautiful, short, stocky, thick gem up there. We will write up the contract and make this official. When do we leave?
Today.
How long do we expect to be gone?
No telling.
Ooh.
I mean,
Are we
I'm gonna
talking weeks? Months?
Not
minimum
months.
a couple of weeks.
If you get us good information from the locals, it shouldn't be long.
We're
Do you
thinking.
expect much demon worship?
We're thinking a couple weeks.
I expect no worship.
This is mostly reconnaissance. This is our first time going over there.
Me too. I'm well versed in different religions, but don't actively participate. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out. It's fine. Will there be virgins? There's demon worship, yeah?
Most likely.
I think it's going to be the Wild West out there. The Wild Northwest. So, could be interesting for you.
Alright. Well, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Come here. Hey, Burger! My favorite little chunky stuff. I have a contract.
Chunky stuff, driving me mad, making me crazy.
He goes up. He tells her the terms. She draws up a contract really quick. You guys are brought up to sign. He's up there the whole time as you guys are talking. He's just talking at the woman the whole time, who's just like seems to be glad that he's just leaving. You guys sign the contract. He pulls out. Finally, you give like the quill for him to sign. He kind of scoffs at that quill and reaches into his bag, or into his not his bag, his sword sheath, where he pushes a button and something comes out, and he pulls out this gigantic, like 2-foot phoenix feather. His own quill that he dips in ink, and it's like flopped everywhere as he signs it. Very, like, twice as big as everybody else. All of the every bit of the page signs his Enric. He puts it back in the sheath and kind of buttons it back up. Rolls it, hands it over, and she goes, "You will miss me when I'm gone, yeah?" She goes, No, I won't. Please don't come back here. Do not. If I see you come back here, I'm going to have you thrown out if you try to touch me again. I'm going to hide your sword from me this time, too. Successfully. He shrugs. He goes, you won't miss me.
She's into you, bro.
Exit House Denieth with Enric in tow. And, yeah. Hold on.
Alright, anything else we need to do? Buy healing potions, anything like that?
It's a good idea.
It's so fun.
Sure.
It's interesting.
Never mind.
I don't have any healing potions.
In the bag, we have 14 regular healing, 7 greater, 3 superior.
Oh, okay.
We should buy more.
Not a bad idea.
Can we
So,
find
gentlemen, where are we headed? For leaving today?
We need to stock up on some supplies and then head to the airship.
Airship.
That's right.
This will be fun.
It's got a jacuzzi in it.
That's right.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Oh, we shall be great.
There's
friends.
party lights. It's got it all, baby.
He kind of hugs Alan Greenspan. He puts an arm over Alan. He goes, "We will be great friends."
Yeah, so can we stock up on potions somewhere?
Yeah, definitely in the Adventurers District for sure. There's not like an infinite amount. Let me see. Different places. I'll say that you can get. We'll set the 10 limit at 10 of normal healing potions. For the next level up, we'll do 8. So there's 1d4, 2d4 plus 2, and then we'll do 5 of the
Greater?
4d4 plus 4.
I think we should buy all 5 of those.
Yeah.
And what? The next 10 of the lower ones?
How much do they run?
The lower 50 gold.
No, they're not.
So that was healing, greater, and superior. I will say that there's probably 2 supreme healing potions. So 10 of the 2d4 plus 2, 8 of the greater, which is 44 plus 4, and then we'll do 2 of the supreme. That's 10d4 plus 20, which is 1350.
Holy crap.
The regular healing are 50, the greater are 150 apiece.
I'd say all the greater and regular.
We hardly ever use regular, man.
Well,
yeah,
it's just
that's
like
really not much.
they're like Phoenix Downs, though. You know what I mean? People go down.
That works.
If you get hit bad, you can die. But
Yeah, I mean, it does work.
it'll make you conscious.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should
Definitely the greater.
buy all the superior. How much are the superior?
The superior are the greater, you mean?
No, the 8d4 plus 8 or whatever.
94 plus 8, they're 450 a pop, and there were 8 of those.
Oh, they're 8? Jeez.
I thought there were only 2.
There's 2 of the Supreme.
Oh.
I think we should get all of the superior.
Okay.
Was it 5 superior?
8.
Damn.
Like 3.5 G's.
Yep. It's worth it.
You don't think we should just load up? We're going to like the baddest badlands.
At least it's not the Mournlands. The Mournlands are arguably worse because you can't heal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we couldn't even use healing potions.
Not the Mournlands, no, but this isn't that bad.
Let's buy.
It's still Mordor, but still.
Let's buy one of the
Supreme.
Supreme.
Okay.
Enric buys a potion. You see, he's in line behind you guys. After you guys are done, he goes up and he buys a greater fire resistance potion.
Oh.
He puts it in his bag.
Smart
And
man.
thinking of Damon West, maybe that will be quite helpful.
Fire resistance.
That's a good point.
Yeah, what do those run in general? Fire resistance potion.
There's only 2 of them,
Okay.
and those run $9.60 a pop.
Shit. What's the duration on them?
We still have that cape that gives fire resistance.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
trying to learn that.
Those last for hours. The potions.
I'm sorry, how many hours?
6.
6.
6.
Yeah, we should buy both.
Yeah, we'll pick both of them up.
Ouch.
Well, wait, did Henrik buy one of the 2, or were there 2 more?
No, he bought one of the 2.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Alright, stocked up.
That's pretty good.
You guys go by Enric as you guys are walking back towards the airship. He stops for a second and goes, "Oh, hold up, give me 1 second. This is my favorite baker." He goes in. He comes out with like 12 chocolate crisps. It's a good friendship, yeah? And breakfast is very important. Have a chocolate croissant.
Most important meal of the day.
So where's you now?
Should we just preempt the message and head toward the airfield or the dock or whatever?
Yeah. Meet up with Goosefire in the airship.
Okay. Yeah, you send a message to Goose.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you get a response from Goose. He says, yeah, almost up. It'll be another hour. Looks like my Carnathy contact's run a little bit late, but you should be there within an hour. He's here. Everything's fine. We're all fine here now. We're fine.
I say we make our way over.
Okay. You guys make your way all the way from like mid-level to lower level along the dockside, kind of going through the caves that constitute like this cliffside area of Sharn, twisting and turning through. Finally, you find yourself at like that weird storage yard with the large sliding door that was built into the cave network. And there's Goosefire. He's got a little wagon, and sitting in the wagon is just 3 large burlap sacks. And Goose is kind of leaning up against the door. He's just got his arms kind of folded. He's looking kind of sketchy. He has come around the corner. He goes, finally. He puts down the wagon, kind of trots up. Hey, there wasn't really a lot of trouble with getting these. But I think if we're gonna move, you should move. There was a couple guards that we had to knock unconscious, and also they're in the wagon.
Oh God. What are we taking with us?
I don't know.
Can't someone do memory wipe and then we just leave them in a pile?
Goose shrugs.
How many?
I
How
don't-
many?
I don't know that one.
How many guards?
2.
All right. Yeah, bring them with us.
Okay. You guys put in the keys, lock at the same time. The door opens, and there you see wrapped up is the Fang in its storage hangar. As soon as it opens up and the Fang is up there, Enric kind of trots up and just whistles real loud. Oh, that's a pretty shit. I like her style.
Goose, how long did you say this power source would last?
She goes, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. You plug the thing in the thing, and the thing goes.
All right.
We'll just not burn as hot as we did before.
We got 2 fully charged dragon shards here and 2 unconscious bodies. So
All right. Let's get out of here.
cool. How are you gonna launch this thing? Currently, it's like wrapped up on a wagon that you have to like take somewhere. Because last time you had parked it and then you wrapped it up and put it on a wagon so you could store it. Where are you gonna launch it?
Is this when we treated it as a boat for a while?
Yeah.
So are we on a waterway?
Yeah, you could take it down to the docks.
Yeah, how about that?
Probably quickest.
Okay. You guys take it down to the docks, only getting a few strange looks. Finally, you get down to the docks, and you just kind of pick a pier, launch it. You get some weird looks, but I'm not going to have real checks with everything. Gets into the water, kind of bobs and sinks a little bit, and then rises back up. Goosefire quickly takes the bundles that he can lift from the wagon and throws them into the cabin. The 2 of them look very conspicuously like bodies that he just kind of chucks into the lobby. Enric is like walking up and down the top of the ship and just like kind of knocking at stuff and looking and thing done. Everything loaded up into it. You ready to go? Who's piloting?
I think Terrence, you did it last time, right? I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
I suppose I shall.
Okay. You get in the cockpit. Again, it's a sealed cockpit that's on top, kind of like a fighter cockpit almost that completely encloses there's a big like view spread, and then down below is kind of like the lobby. There's also an entrance from the bottom of the ship that you can kind of like elevate and get into the pilots too. You get in, close it. You guys get down to the hull. Again, the hull looks like a limo stretch Hummer, just like lined with like hot pink felt couches, lots of tiger striped paraphernalia, large gold bar. There's a flat screen TV that kind of comes down. There's a light bar and a sound bar. So you get in, flip all the switches. Everything kind of warms up for a second. You see the little power level that you know how much juice you have left. Now that you've taken out one of the underneath the main lobby is kind of like a small hangar for the actual engine. You took out one of the large dragon salt shards. It's the size of like a little bit bigger than a bowling ball. Take it out and just kind of plugged a new one into the socket and just sunk. It juices all the way up. You start it up. There's like a weird sizzle of electricity as Enric, who's still out on the deck, this ring of electricity like arcs across the top and below of the boat. And he jumps As he looks back in the water, there's just fish that begin to float dead up to the top. Yeah. I'm going back downstairs. He goes downstairs. We flip it, starts to hover, and begin to take off. People just staring, mouths agape.
Real quick, I don't know if we can retcon it. I wanted to talk to Goosefire about trying to get something for Trud, as far as like
Oh, yeah, sure.
making it
He's
smaller.
not coming with you, but yeah, you can talk to him on the dock where stuff's getting loaded.
Yeah. Hey, I had this thought. Is there any way we could get some sort of like, I don't know, like a collar or something for our little spiky friend? I'm thinking something like can make him smaller or like bigger when he needs to be, because we always can't have this huge fucking lion prowling around with us all the time.
Yeah, he's a little unwieldy. I don't know. I checked into some of my other shops. They're still up and running, thankfully. I could talk to some of my Smiths and Vulcanbelf maybe. They might be able to whip something up, but it's not going to be instantaneous.
It's like a pretty simple thing, right? It's not going to take a ton of time. I know it's going to be expensive, but
You should not a ton of time. It probably have to be custom made. It's going to fit that beast.
what are we talking? Something that like, if it could make him small, could it also make him like big? So it's time to like kick some ass.
Small probably wouldn't be that expensive. If you want something that you can toggle between small, medium, and big, that might be pricey.
Okay. Could you do a rough estimate for just the small?
He kind of sits there and thinks. For just small, maybe 3,500. Something that could make him small to normal sized
Right.
on a whim. It wouldn't be remote controlled or anything. You'd have to go up and manually set it. Because you don't want it to be able to control it, right? You don't want Trud to be able to like get small when he wants, I assume.
Yeah, I guess we would just need to use it. Yeah. Would it be something I could use multiple times a day? Like at will?
I could probably do twice a day without any extra cost. Anything up that might make things more complicated.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't see us turning on and off and on and off and on and off. Yeah, guys, what do you think?
On-off perks is head up. Yeah.
You're looking
Call my
beautiful.
fucking name all the goddamn time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, he goes, let me talk to some of the Smiths and Vulcanbelf. They'll probably be able to whip it up
okay.
within a week.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool. All right, bon voyage, and find something to do with the guards, I guess. Good luck.
On that note, who's fire?
He takes a step to leave and stops and yes, Terrence.
Tell me again exactly the scenario that occurred when he's trying to tell the story from their perspective, just so I can understand.
I went to go meet the consulate from Carnathian Embassy. I was recognized. These two guards stopped me, followed me. I think they found me purchasing some of this contraband. And then I had to knock them out with acid.
Didn't know acid could do that.
He shrugs. That's all I had on me. He kind of looks at his wristbands. He's got two bracers. It's all I had on me. I don't have a weapon. I just magic items. It's my thing. It's all I can do.
Now, what faction are these guards from?
Because I think they're OG Sharn Watch. They were in the greens and blacks. They weren't like the militia or whatever.
Very well. We'll take care of it.
He salutes. He goes, "You guys are my guys. You guys, my guys. All right, you kids have fun."
Thanks,
He turns to
Goose.
leave.
Off we go.
Off into the distant lands. Yeah. What do you want to do? You have probably 4 or 5 days of straight flying to get to where you need to go, going at pretty high speed.
So what are we gonna pass, town-wise?
What are you gonna pass town-wise?
Yeah. Like, are we gonna fly over anywhere obvious?
Let's see.
Ballstar's heart sinks and he realizes he should have brought a book.
HDTV.
Where are
Something. Anything.
we? Are we in Breland?
Yeah, we're in Sharn, so we're like south Breland.
They're
Around there.
gonna want to take a quick detour to like some very isolated back alley.
In Sharn?
Yep.
Okay. So you're just gonna dump them somewhere?
Well, I'm going to cast Modify Memory,
Okay.
and so each of them will need to make a Wisdom saving throw.
I think they're both unconscious, so I wouldn't worry about it. I
Okay.
think, yeah, you just. What do you modify?
I'm going to modify that memory. It's going to be everything exactly the same, except instead of Goosefire,
You cut out.
yes. It's Thunder and Creed that they track.
Whoa.
Nice.
Okay.
Very
Everything,
nice.
everything played out the same, and then we're going to add a little bit of a memory that, like, they could kind of, like, after they went unconscious, that they think that they were kind of coming to and could hear Thunder and Creed telling them, telling other people, dispose of them, throw them in an alley somewhere.
Sweet. Very nice. So you guys, yeah, you just, I think, Enric just kind of watches with amazement as you fly real low to an alley that you can, and Alan and Ballstar just like chuck these people 8 feet off the ground, and they land with like a wet thump, thump, and you take off. As far as other settlements that you're gonna pass, this is a pretty not civilized part. You're gonna go through Breland, and then you're gonna go through Drome a little bit. And Drome is like the monstrous humanoid country. It's ruled by 3 insanely powerful hags. Then you're gonna go through the Elven Reaches, which is like giant forests, absolutely no settlements at all, except for like the local druids that live there. Then you're gonna hit the Icehorn Mountains or the Shadow Crags, and then you'll be in the Demon Wastes.
Yeah, I was just concerned with dumping the guard somewhere, so I don't care anymore.
Oh, okay. Super cool.
So are we on the road now, or are we figuring that out?
Yep, you're on the road, you're on the sky.
Alright, how many days do we have?
I'll say about 5.
Perfect. I'm going to create a potion. Can I do a potion or a scroll of teleportation circle? It's a 5th level spell, 5 days.
Let's see. I feel like what level is it?
It's 5th.
Okay, yeah, I see there's a chart here. It says the level to make a 5th level, or the time it takes to make a 5th level scroll is 4 weeks and 5,000 gold.
Cool. Alright. Is by that chart, what can we do in 5 days?
What you can do in 5 days, you can do a 2nd level in 3 days, or a 3rd level in 1 week.
Alright, so I'll look through my 2nd level.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it costs 250 gold in components.
That's for scrolls?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you can
I would
get
say
the-
scrolls and potions are kind of the same.
Oh.
Alright, I'll get back to you.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, unless there's anything specific you guys want to do, we can just kind of fast travel. Eventually, like within the first couple of days, you guys reach the Grey Wall Mountains, which are. Oops, there we go. Which border Jerome and Breland. Only thing really of note is once you get towards the northern tip and fly over the Grey Wall, you can see these giant statues, maybe 600, 700 feet tall, of all of the past kings of Breland carved into the rock, kind of like Mount Rushmore. Huge, all putting like hands up or swords out. This was a place that like was a central part of Breland before he expanded its borders. It's now since been taken over by Jerome forces. Jerome is currently in Jerome territory. But you see that, you just kind of buzz over it. You guys end up going through Jerome. Jerome is gross. It's a lot of swamp. It's a lot of like kind of brown, wintry plains. Finally, you reach the giant emerald sea of the Eldine Reaches. A lot of fog kind of clings to the top of the large, dark trees. And it is like going over a sea of just trees below you. As far as you can see, for like the next 3 days, it's nothing but fucking trees beneath you. It's gigantic. Every once in a while, you'll see an abnormally large tree or a kind of a clearing, and there'll be like a large kind of lake, crystal water, still just covered in trees. But yeah, that's that. Eventually, you cross the Shadow Crags, which would be probably the closest cut. You get over the Shadow Crag Mountains, large, black, sharp mountains, look almost unclimbable. As you kind of break over that, continue on, you see the only active volcano on Corvair, the Lake of Fire. A huge volcano that's just every once in a while, I think you approach it at night, you just see rivers of lava just coming out of it. And you see far, far below you the labyrinth, as all of the lava is cut swaths into like kind of hard dirt to make this gigantic canyon the size of Mississippi. So you guys are going to Ashtakala?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you pass over the labyrinth for probably another day and a half. You're kind of bordering on 6. You're like maybe 5 and a half, 6 days in. When finally you do see the labyrinth begins to level out a little bit into plains, but it's more like there's not really a lot of shrubs or greenery at all. Just kind of like sharp, jagged rocks kind of sticking out every once in a while. It only features the landscape. A gray and like red-brown dirt kind of follows everything. You see large kind of dust storms blowing over it, and then on the very, very like, kind of the tip of the horizon, you see some fire smoke, and you begin to see like large tents.
Careful, we don't want to get too close.
Right. Where are we gonna hide the friggin' airship?
Yeah. Let's pull around. Hopefully, we won't get spotted.
Where are you pulling around to?
I guess I'm like talking with Terrence. Is there a way you can like peel around these mountains here?
There's really no mountains near Ashtakla. Keep losing the map. Where's the map? There it is. Yeah, this is like where it's like in the weird valley of plains between the Icehorn Mountains and the Ash Beacon, which is another kind of volcano-y thing, and the labyrinth.
So we're not right outside of.
Oh, you're right outside of it. You can see it from where you are, but you're pretty high in the sky, and I'd say it's probably dark at this point.
Okay. Is am I seeing buildings, or is this like a tent city?
Like tents, more like.
It's like a settlement. It's not a city. It's just a lot of people.
Yeah, it's like a settlement between like whirling sands and volcanic glass.
Alright.
What if we leave a party member with the airship so we don't actually have to park it anywhere?
They could just hover.
Yeah. And then we can
It
hear
does have that feature where it can like camouflage itself.
it. Does?
Oh, good. I was trying to think of where to do that.
Oh, then just take it a half mile outside the tent city.
Yeah. I mean, you go into stealth mode, park it, and just walk in.
Alright.
Sweet.
How far away are you parking?
Well out of sight. That even if someone had like excellent dark vision, they could just never spot us.
Okay. Like, are you talking like a 2 or 3 hour hike?
Yeah, easy. Can we do like a perception check as we're flying around? Just I want to be looking for a place to dump the airship.
Are these the same things that you?
Yes. Those are a couple of them.
Yep.
Is it really bigger?
They're bigger than this?
Yeah.
That's bad.
What's bigger? What? Oh, I thought you were talking to me. My bad.
Or-
Joe, is this like your shoe that you have?
You can bring it up to the cameras.
Yeah, that's similar.
I have the same shoe. This is an old one though.
Yeah, I mean,
He
same coloration, but it's not exactly the same.
These are like 10 years old, I think. They're not too bad for 10 years old. Except for the shit out of them.
I was gonna say.
I mean, I don't know if it's shit or not, but
Looks like shit.
Okay, so we stealth mode and we put it down somewhere?
Yeah, you gonna do a big hike?
Big hike.
Yeah.
We should somehow
shit,
remember where we.
What?
We should somehow, I don't know, remember, mark something, or
Yeah, that's a good idea.
make a beacon, or.
You want me to put my tree here? Can I look around? Are there big trees around at all, John?
No. This is like ordering on a cold ass desert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Volcanic glass and dust and like sharpness everywhere.
What did you mean about making a beacon?
I don't know. Just kind of said the words.
Man, do I have like a survival stat that's high?
Mm.
So I've got a high survival stat. Can I say
always use find the path if nothing else works.
I don't know.
Right.
I leave some kind of a trail.
It's a 7th level spell. Okay.
6th.
Yeah, sure. You can kind of mark your way back if you like. How do you plan on doing that?
Mark it on the map.
I would like to pile sand into a banana bowl, making a clump of banana mush that I form into small Belgian crosses.
Okay, just kind of mark the landscape with banana mush.
Every, half mile.
Okay. You begin scooping up sand, putting it in the bowl. Enric behind you, he kind of gets out of the ship and stretches. steps off and goes, you take me to the best places. God, this place is a shithole. Ugh, it's cold. It smells like farts.
It's sulfur.
This
It's
is
not
absolutely
farts.
terrible.
Whenever you're thinking about how bad it is, just remember that 20%.
He spends this time, like, you guys are kind of gathering up, trying to figure out what to do. He scoops up some sand and, like, picks up some rocks, like, holds it up to the setting sun, shrugs, chucks it behind him. And just kind of, like, hands on hips, just surveying how much everything sucks out here. So, what kind of dangers are we expecting?
These townsfolk could ambush us on sight.
Come again?
The townsfolk could ambush us on sight.
Well, that doesn't sound very friendly.
No,
What are we going to do? Just waltz in?
Hey,
you are our communication.
Terrence, you think you could turn us all into orcs when we go in there?
Well, we could certainly take the appearance of orcs, but I don't think our language skills or mannerisms or knowledge of their customs would serve us very well.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we can all look like the same type of person or something. That way they think we're a tribe. We're not as suspicious as we look. We can decide that. We gotta do a little bit of recon first.
Well, any magics I bring to the table will be temporary, so and utility may be limited.
Okay. Can I just do like a general take in my surroundings? Just try to like look at landmarks and try to make my best like mental image of like where we're keeping the airship.
Yeah, sure. And with his tracking, too, you can mark it on your map, and he'll kind of lay little piles of banana dookie. Banana mush.
Old
You
sticky
guys
fingers.
start heading towards the settlement on the horizon as the sun sets?
Yeah.
Okay. It's cold. It's like 40 degrees and kind of rapidly dropping. The volcanic glass just does not hold any heat at all. So you just like cold from below. The wind starts up. You get 5 minutes in, the wind really begins to pick up. Every once in a while, you hear a tink, 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 tink near you as you kind of like stop as you hear something fly by you as the wind just blows like almost 90 miles an hour for a second. You kind of taken off as you look, and there's just a shard of volcanic glass the size of a dinner plate just like rolling. Enric sees that happen, and you see him just touch himself, look on the chest, and he kind of glows for a second. He casts mage armor on himself. You guys get closer and closer, and the winds just continue to pick up. The glass flying pretty often. You have to find yourselves like ducking and weaving pretty often. Once every 10 minutes, there's a large thing that just like around you. But the dust begins to really begin clouding your vision up ahead, especially once the sun sets. You kind of set in the deep purples of twilight. The sandstorm just begins to kick up immensely.
Can I morph the sword of Galifar into some kind of like riot shield?
Oh.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's big enough for you.
I'm gonna. Is this getting rough, guys? I can try to fix this, but it's not gonna be discreet.
What spell?
I can make the wind not kill us.
Enric goes, "Make the wind not kill us!"
All right, I cast Control Winds, and I'm gonna cast Updraft. So it's a 100-foot cube that just shoots all the air vertically. So anything that comes at us is just gonna shoot up into the air.
Okay. I'd say that definitely clears the dust within a 100-foot cube of you two. Who's leading the party?
I was.
So you're still taking point?
Sure. As we move, does the cube move?
Yeah, it moves with us.
Okay.
Roll a survival check to try to navigate, because now you cannot see anything.
Ah. Okay. 24.
I'll make it.
That's pretty good. You kind of find that you walk where the wind is the worst, and it's kind of leading you in the right direction. The sandstorm just intensifies and intensifies. It's hard to tell with the updraft, but it almost looks like without that updraft, these winds would just pick you up and throw you. You get close. Eventually, the volcanic glass begins to find structures like old, like foundations of old buildings begin to kind of come through the visible spectrum of the updraft. Old, ancient, like maybe a small, like 2-foot wall that's crumbling, made out of a strange material that's reflective almost. Something that's dull, kind of like bronzy and reflective like metal. You keep going, you find a few more of these bricks. You begin to find like a little bit of a road that's kind of crumbled, but every once in a while you'll see it break and crack, and then just more like dust and dirt, and then more kind of a cracked road. The sandstorm still picks up, but the heat also picks up as well. Eventually, the ground, the air itself isn't hot, but the ground kind of begins to like radiate heat. Not like super hot, like uncomfortable, but it's like going in from something that's like 30 degrees to like the concrete's been baking in the sun all day. You just feel this radiation. It feels weird. It's not like a loving, like soothing warmth. It's like an uncomfortable, sweaty, humid warmth. Finally, with the updraft, you push through what just seems to be the worst. Like all start sweating bullets. You find yourself step through, and all of a sudden, the sandstorm breaks in front of you as you pass through, and you look to each side, and just like for half a mile each direction, there's a huge fucking cyclone.
Oh,
We're in the middle of the cyclone.
What?
We're in the middle of the cyclone?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's a huge cyclone. You look at it, you just see it, like, it's a sandstorm, so it's just roiling all up. You see just shapes, like, all of the clouds just into itself. It's kind of, it's very unsettling. But the simple tent encampment that you thought you were heading towards is not what you come across. You see a strange city, strange spined crooked towers, large fortresses of seemingly like weird bend and weird make, just jutting into the sky at weird sharp angles. The air is warm, a lot like that radiation that you're getting here. Hot wind kind of gets out or blows away. There's strange lights, torches all throughout this city. It's not like a city. It's maybe it's a dozen buildings probably, but they're all weird architecture, something that you don't recognize at all. You find yourself in front of a large gate with the city walls and spikes, weird twisted ram's horn looking spikes out of the walls, and every so often you'll see chunks of something impaled on the spikes. Spikes just kind of jutting out weird directions, weird angles from the wall, more chunks, things. A almost completely decomposed humanoid-esque body on one, impaled through. The arch itself opens up into this like weird kind of a large street that opens up into more of a pavilion area where you can see a lot of these like green torches are sputtering to life, and there are figures around as well. It's not bustling, but every once in a while you'll see figures kind of like moving in between this pavilion in the middle of these large buildings. But in the gates specifically, you see that something materializes out of seemingly nothing. A weird translucent figure will kind of materialize out, like stop for a second, and then just kind of begin walking towards the middle of the pavilion. You see things kind of walking out of the sandstorm next to you. People in strange clothing. A lot of them are kind of look like Enric. These kind of like twisted horns, devilish features. A lot of them are orcs. There's a couple humans, but again, they're all weird and translucent, ghostly.
Enric, see if you can make friends.
As he goes, hold up, he's like tangling through all the holy symbols. No.
Yeah. Quincy, are these fucking
yeah,
ghosts? What's going on?
He like holds it up and just begins like saying something as they're passing through.
Can I do some kind of I don't know, like religion check or something to tell if they're undead?
Sure.
Oh boy. That's a 6.
You can't tell.
I mean, my
Edric
best
kind
guess.
of holds up a holy symbol. He's like praying to it. And he kind of looks around. And he says something in a weird, a lilting language of his homeland. Just where the hell? Where have you taken me? What?
We don't know. Are they? Can they hear us? Can we interact with them?
I don't know. He turns and there's like a one of the weird ghostly figures just kind of walks by very closely, puts a hand out and puts a finger to touch it and just goes straight through him. The figure kind of like turns very slowly, just continues to walk forward.
Crap.
Our best bet might just be to ignore them. They seem to be going about their business.
Okay, so where are we going now? Do we follow the ghosts? Are we dead? Well, I'm solid. You're solid.
Let's just head towards the encampment. I don't know, man. Can I make it? Is anyone like looking at us or taking any notice of us?
Now that you can see, there's nothing but the ghostly figures near this gate that you can see. It's very dark. There's not a lot of light, but from like first glance, you can't see anything.
Let's check out the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all go up to the gate. Twisted spines, weird things impaled on it, opening to a courtyard with green flames kind of everywhere. There's other kind of like tent-y kind of things. Nothing like what you saw, just the kind of the simple looking tribal things. You begin to hear laughing, reveling almost.
Let's go toward the source.
Okay. You go toward the source. You pass through the gate. You get a little bit of a shiver as you pass by the gate or under it. As you go through, there are small tents kind of set up. More of these ghostly figures just kind of walking around. A lot of the tents are they're larger. They're nothing that you can like any sort of cultural touchstones that you can see. They're all kind of strange, mainly made of some sort of leather. There's kind of roiling fires in a lot of these tents. You can hear laughing in them every once in a while. And past this pavilion, there's more of the kind of twisted towers and the large, low, squat buildings covered in spikes. these other kind of weird things. As you get into the pavilion, you see something walk out of the tent. Something tall, large, powerful neck. In the fire glisten and reflect the light as you see feline eyes. You see it kind of get up and yawn. Huge canine teeth. A large panther head on a humanoid body. And as the thing comes out and stretches, you see he's got a goblet in one hand, but the hand is backwards and curved around a cup.
Oh God. Is that our boy?
No, it's got to be just
Just a
another of
random
his
one?
kind.
It's not because Quesnef is a tiger.
Yeah.
Rakshasa. This thing is like a black panther Rakshasa, dressed in strange oriental robes. Not oriental, but ornamental robes. Yeah,
Is he translucent like the other people around him?
he is solid.
Enric, see if you can speak to this guy.
He kind of goes pale. He comes up. He kind of pulls out a holy symbol and tucks the rest in to his robe as he comes in. Has one prominent. He comes up. He turns the charm on. Turns on the swagger. They say something. It's a weird, not guttural language, but it's a language that only seems to purr and lilt. As he approaches, he doesn't make any eye contact. As he still tries to be charming. The Rakshasa creature, the weird panther thing, doesn't really look at him. Doesn't give any sort of eye contact, but he says a few things in another tone. He turns towards Enric, finally meeting his gaze, and Enric kind of bows, hands up. The thing kind of proudly looks him over, looks you guys over, kind of licks its chops, and turns and goes kind of deeper into something else's tent. And he kind of walks backwards, still bowing. He comes out, he goes, "You take me to a city of Rakshasa?"
Who could know these things? What did he say?
Thankfully, I seem to have pulled the right holy symbol out. Here they revere the Wormbreaker, a particularly high-ranking Rakshasa Raja. He's the ruler of Ashtoka.
Oh, well played. So the whole city is made up of these kind.
Some, I assume. I mean, there are a few there. Maybe the ruling class. Anything else could be here, I assume. We're not in hell, right? This isn't hell.
No.
No, we can apparently drive out of it, which, I don't think you can do that with the real hell.
Okay. So what are we doing here?
We need information.
Okay, well, a few tips. Don't look a Rakshasa in the eye. Do not address a Rakshasa unless he addresses you first. Do not accept any food. Do not accept any drink from anything. Okay?
Yes.
Don't touch anything. Don't walk weird. Don't make eye contact. Especially with one of those. Understand?
Got it.
Okay. So, where would we like to go?
This is really the only civilization that we know anything about. We're looking for a city or something. This whole library is rumored to have disappeared.
Okay. A library?
Books?
I didn't ask him if there was a library. I just asked him where we were.
Do you know?
And who we should pay tribute to. I don't know. Should we just walk around? If I can read signs, if there are signs, I suppose.
The less time we spend talking to the Rakshasa, I think, better for us. Let's find something lower stakes.
Yeah. So into the city, shall we peruse the tents?
Yeah, let's do a little scouting run. See what you can read on signs.
Okay. He kind of takes point and he prostrates his shoulder very high, but he kind of bows his head, just looking down in front of him, with his hands like open wide as he walks. Just kind of like taking the peripherals of everything. The ghost things every once in a while just kind of cross your path. Quincy, one of the ghost things, just like is on target with you and just flows right through you, dissipates for a second, reappears, and just continues on its way. Only mildly perturbed, it looks like.
Did I feel anything when it happened?
You feel a little cold, a little sick. That's really it.
Okay.
You continue into the city. Like I said, it's a smaller town. It's not like it's a huge sprawling city like Sharn. Into some twisted buildings. He picks a main thoroughfare to go through. He's just kind of looking around. Every once in a while, he turns up, not making eye contact. A lot of the there's a lot of open balconies. You can see that there's revelry going on. A lot of the balconies up above. You see figures more kind of laughing. Every once in a while, you hear something or somebody scream in pain. Very quick, very intense, very violent. And then just to nothing. And then laughter comes up. Let's see. You approach. There's a garden area almost in the that you like. So among all the buildings, there's a kind of open space, very intricately carved. Thorned vines kind of cover a lot of it. It's very dark here. There's not a lot of like natural light or like light that's really being lit. But you can see in the middle of this garden there's a kind of a spike of light, and you hear every once in a while a groan in that spike of light in the garden. He kind of looks up, reads the sign. That sounds promising. The Garden of Eternal Torture. Fantastic. Over here we have the Amphitheater of Pain. There is the Glass Gallery. What is that? There's the Shrine to the Lords of Dust. I don't know what that is. I'm at the loss here.
Can we just keep going?
Yeah, do you know of any customs upon leaving a town or something? Do we gotta do any bullshit before we can just leave?
It's customary to pay tribute.
Let's pay tribute and get the fuck out of here.
Okay. Where do you want to leave tribute?
I don't know. What the hell does that mean?
You give something. You sacrifice something to for the generosity to allow you to be among their presence.
Oh God.
There's a couple of steps coming out of the garden. A powerfully built looking figure, about 9 feet tall. Another Rakshasa comes out holding a bottle of wine and a cup. He pours himself another cup and he kind of drinks it. He's got a big smile, licks his lips. He sees you guys. You hear him kind of purr as he saunters over. As you guys are sitting in the middle of the street, because he speaks something in a language you don't really understand. Waits for a second. Enric says something back. You hear him say, "Coming? Coming?" The Rakshasa's face goes from like smiling and pleasant to annoyed. You speak common language?
We speak common.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It feels strange on my lips. Anyway, how can I... What brings you to Ashtakla on the night of revels?
Well, that part is coincidence.
So you just walked in?
Yeah,
We're
the gate was open.
Okay. Well, what were you hoping to seek here?
My kind has never seen this city. We're exploring.
I'm aware. Many have of your kind seen it. Maybe you haven't heard of it because maybe they didn't leave.
Well, good. That brings us to the next question. We're considering where to leave tribute. What do you value?
Oh, well, if you'd like, you can give tribute to me. I will let you pass.
Fantastic. What floats your boat?
What do you have?
Bananas.
Roll a persuasion check.
That is a natural one.
oh no.
His face goes still, and you just hear him start to growl.
We have wine.
He doesn't say anything.
We've got some old books here. They're in a strange language that I can't read. I don't know if you're interested in information.
He puts a hand out.
What book?
Alright, so I have it written down that there's 4 old books, 3 of which are in weird languages. 1 is in Draconic and is about myths of the creations of dragons. Each book is worth about 50 to 60 gold. I don't know where we got them.
I imagine you got them. Did you either stole them from a library? Was it in the Bartleby's house?
Oh no, this is from when we did the White Plume Mountain thing.
Interesting.
I have a book as well.
What book?
It's verbatim. The book of the wilderness pause that any magic yeah.
Wasn't that a book that you were reading to like multi-class it or something?
I spent all my money on it. It rose my my spell DC by 1.
Oh, that's right.
But I don't know if the magic still works on it.
I don't know.
I don't think it does, but that's the only book I have.
You hand him the old book of Draconic. He takes it and kind of sniffs it. And he just like opens his mouth and through the book and tears it in half. Chews on it. Spits it into a wet glob. Puts the half of the book on top of it. That did not please me.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted food.
I don't.
I am confused.
You should be. He smells again towards your wherever you pulled the book out of. There's something that smells interesting in that bag. He closes his eyes and smells a couple of times more. Scroll and a candle, I believe.
Candle?
I've got a couple scrolls. I don't know about any candles.
He sniffs around all of you and he goes, there's a candle one of you have, I would very much like. And there's a scroll with a name on it. Give them to me, and your tribute will be paid.
Is that the scroll with all the true names of the devils? Yeah.
I don't know about that.
There's the contract with
Oh.
friggin' Quesnev.
No, that's not what he's thinking of.
Did we take candles from those rituals in Goosefire's building?
I didn't think we did.
There is one specific candle.
We definitely took something out of there. There was some gold that was melted down, and we took stuff out of that room.
You remember that there was a whole bunch of candles that were lit, but there was one large black candle.
Yeah.
And then next to that was a scroll with a weird name that you couldn't quite read.
Yep. There's a list of demons too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a list of true names of demons.
Yeah. That's the one.
That's happened before. Where did we find the paint that Anof uses?
Oh, that was way back in
That was
the Zerg dwarf place.
There was something we found in there that we couldn't read as well.
Yeah.
That was a book.
If he wants the black candle, I say pitch it.
Okay. If I didn't,
The scroll, I don't
have
have
it.
the scroll up.
I don't have it written on my sheet that I have it, but pull out a scroll of protection from fiends. Is this is the one you're talking about, right?
He shakes his head.
Uh,
You have a scroll with, I can smell true names on you. Give them to me. I am growing impatient.
I don't know what you mean. I have I got a conjure minor elementals. I got fear. I got hold person.
Are you trying to mislead him, or are you just saying that you don't have it?
I'm trying to play dumb, I guess.
Okay, roll a deception check for me.
14.
14. He goes, you wish to play games? We can play games. He takes 2 steps back, and he snaps. There's puffs of purple smoke on each side of him, and 2 large shadows end up summoning next to him. He goes, last chance, or I will take it from you.
I say we fuck this guy up.
I don't think we can.
use for the scroll?
We don't, but he could do probably some horrible crap with it.
Enric is white as a sheet, just like holding all of his holy symbols.
Is he the only one around? Like other
Him and the two shadows. You can still kind of hear revelry around. Right now, you're just outside the entrance of the Garden of Eternal Pain.
I gotta pee.
Are you thinking of banishing him or something?
something like that.
So what is the deal with these things? They're resistant.
Weird, like shadow creatures.
Well, but Rakshasas, can't we not use magic on them or something?
Yeah.
Roll a I don't know, intelligence check.
$14.
You seem to remember something about that. You got a gut instinct that kind of rings true, reminds you of it. Are you not giving up the scroll?
I think we should just give it up.
Really?
We're in the middle of everything. Like, if we start fighting, we're gonna get fucked.
But alright.
Yeah, I give it up.
Okay. You kind of, with a scowl, reach in, hand over the scroll with all the true names on it. He had begun levitating. He just kind of like levitates over, pulls the hand out. You give him the scroll. He opens it up. He smiles, wraps it up, puts it in a scroll case at his side, and he goes, "Your tribute is paid."
Start walking.
Okay.
Ballstar is annoyed. And before we leave, I'm just gonna say, hey, you guys all know each other, right? Do you know a Quesnef?
He just laughs and turns away.
Even I know we could have figured out something else. Walk away.
What'd you say?
I'm just annoyed that we didn't try to negotiate anything. And I walk away.
Okay. Did you say something to him? Did you like?
No, I didn't say shit after he walks away. No.
Oh, okay.
So
We already lost everything.
what are we gonna do? We're in the middle of this.
Scroll of true names.
If we start fighting, other things are gonna start attacking us. It's not just one guy.
No, I'm saying we could have asked something in return for the thing he wanted, obviously. We had some leverage, and now we don't have leverage. We're not fighting, and you're right.
He's still there. I mean, he's still walking away. You could still try to talk to him if you like.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I'll call him. Terrence, if you would, we are seeking a certain trail, if you will.
He stops and turns.
There was one of ours from Breland or Zalargo who made his way into these lands. He thought himself an adventurer. He sought after some sort of relic. We're here to find what happened to him.
He takes another large gulp of wine. And he goes, "For your pittance and obedience. Look for the pool of water next to the volcano that's perfectly cool. You shall find what you're looking for there."
I bow.
He gives a slight nod.
We leaving, right?
Yeah.
Another scream, somebody off in the distance. You guys just bolt?
Yep.
Yeah, we're leaving.
You begin walking. Enric just has all of his holy symbols. He's walking in front very quickly. Looking, he bows. Everything he sees, like every shadow, he takes a bow. You guys pass through the pavilion. You see that there are now 2 or 3 humans, all kind of powerfully built, dressed in all, like skins. A lot of teeth on a lot of the skins. They're in the middle of the pavilion, and there is a small figure-esque. It's hard to tell if what they were at one point. There's just kind of gurgling gasps coming from it at this point as they're all taking turns passing a hammer and just knocking it. They kind of laugh and chuckle. 2 powerfully built men, shaved heads. One of them has a very sharp the obsidian glass weaved into his scalp and pierced in like a weird kind of crown. Another one has his just completely shaved head covered in tattoos. There's one woman who is just dressed in like a large like bear fur, it looks like, and they're just passing this hammer and just beating whatever they have, or beating the poor thing in between them with the hammer. As you pass by, Enric is just bows and smiles. Doesn't make eye contact. Just quack.
We follow. I follow.
You guys pass through the gates. In like the big cyclone. You step through the cyclone?
So it hasn't moved?
Nope.
It's like the city's veil or something?
We're heading to the volcano. So how far away is this volcano?
It was near where you came in.
Yeah, Lake of Fire.
Alright. Head back the way we came then, right?
We gotta get to their ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doing the same thing with the wind.
Yeah, it lasts for an hour, so I'm
Okay.
assuming I got a decent amount still.
Cool. Yeah, throw it up. You get through the cyclone again. Enric is just cursing these in different like 17 different languages. You see just like these wonderful curses come out. He says something in Draconic. If anybody speaks Draconic, it's just like, "You fucking crooked-legged idiots! I hope your dicks rot off."
Terrence
He's
does
just,
Draconic.
okay. He's just saying that to himself as you guys are magical bullshit, glass flying at my head. You guys step out of the cyclone, and he's just kind of collects himself a little bit. Okay, that was interesting. Almost got robbed by Raksasha. Good story, I suppose. I want 2 things of choice now. And 20%.
I think our contract is already.
But nothing would happen to me.
I think you'd be at quite the loss because I don't believe you have any way of getting back.
He relents.
You can either come forward and earn your keep, as contract states, or yes, I suppose you could go off on your own, and good luck to you.
I'm not going to do that. But I'm adding Rakshasas to my list. Mind flayers, beholders, slimes, slugs, snakes, Rakshasas.
We don't plan to fight any Rakshasa either.
Speak for
I
yourself.
couldn't blame you.
Fine, let's go. You kind of in a huff. You guys make the hike back to the airship, and with the Belgian crosses of bananas, you find it very easily in the dark. Even get to the airship, and you head back towards the lake of fire that you found.
Finding bananas in the dark.
I was finding bananas in the wasteful glass. Based on fire, like a flower in its heart, like a bananas in the dark.
Bring bananas.
Yeah, so you guys get in the airship, make your way back to the Lake of Fire pretty easily from what you can find. Yeah, it's dark now, but you have a general direction. That was some of the heads-up display of the cockpit. You make to the volcano. The volcano is very large, and it's just like its own thing. It's not like a part of a chain of mountains or anything. It's just like this large rising mountain in the middle of more like volcanic glass. You see, it's kind of steepled. It's got a little bit of a sidecar of it, and that's where you see like the big kind of lake of fire, and then the big volcano kind of goes up to a large, conical, traditional volcano shape. But yeah, there's this lake of fire that's just maybe a half a mile wide. It just looks huge. Like even from far away, the heat distortion of it kind of blurs your vision of it. Yeah, what do? You're up in the air. You see this large volcano.
I think we need to do a pass and try and see a body of water.
It's huge, right? Like it's a mammoth volcano. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. Just circumnavigate the thing.
So what do
Okay.
you say?
Roll perception checks. Everybody except for Terrence, he's piloting.
We might have
I'm
to.
give you disadvantage because it's dark.
We might have to wait till morning for this, guys.
Oof, natural one.
I got a 19. Oh, wait, disadvantage.
14.
That's 11.
Ooh, what was the highest?
14.
14.
14? You just don't see anything. It's super dark. The volcano's grumbling constantly. Every once in a while, you just see more magma fall off on one side of this gigantic volcano. I think with a 14, you spot something else besides like a lake, like a cool water. There's definitely something moving, like aerial, throughout the smog clouds that's constantly pouring out of the volcano up top.
Oh boy. I vote we set her down and wait for daylight.
Can we just hover in the air and?
Yeah, just burn over.
Do we want to
Okay,
go? Do
just
we want to go to like a
Wait,
lower
what?
elevation?
what?
Do we want to go to like a lower elevation?
Yeah, like put it into like what like Goosefire did, just like stealth it and then just go kind of dormant,
Cool.
Like hover?
Yeah.
just like low power mode, whatever.
Okay. And everybody just goes to the cabin and sleeps?
I think we should do a lookout. I'll volunteer for first.
Okay. Are you going all night? Or
I'd like to split it with somebody. If anybody wants to go halfsies.
Terrence can always do a shift, but he'll only need 4 hours of sleep.
All right.
Terrence and Ballstar? Everybody everybody else kind of sleeps. Balzer takes the first shift. Roll a perception check.
Sure.
I think again it's disadvantage because it's dark.
Okay. Fuck. 11.
11. I think sometime during the night, maybe 3 hours into your shift, there is like almost an earthquake. Because you're hovering, you don't really feel it, but you definitely hear it. And you kind of look up at the volcano. You see another like vomit of magma just kind of spew out, and it's kind of hard to judge the scale of this thing. I mean, because it's a fucking mountain. So I mean, what looks like a small spray could be thousands of feet. You don't know, but you just see a little bit kind of spurt out and splat among the sides. You begin to run.
Taking a second look. Third look. I'm just gonna wait a couple more minutes.
Okay. Nothing else seems to happen that you can see.
Unless it looks like it's really getting more intense, I'm just gonna chill and wait till Terrence's turn.
Okay. You chill, keep a lookout. Nothing else happens on your turn.
Good night, Terrence.
Terrence comes up, you guys high five, Ballstar goes to sleep. Terrence, roll a perception check at disadvantage because it's dark as hell.
Okay, my night vision doesn't help me.
Oh yeah, I forgot you have dark vision. It's only up to 60 feet though.
Okay. Should I still be disadvantage?
Do one check with disadvantage, one without. Like a long distance and a short distance.
Okay, my short distance is 25.
Okay.
I keep forgetting I don't have dark vision.
Is 17.
17. Short distance. You don't seem to see anything. It's pretty devoid of life out here as you kind of look down the 50 feet, 30 feet that you're kind of hovering at. Keep it nice. You can see that pretty well in a good spotlight of 60 feet. I think maybe 45 minutes in, you definitely hear another grumble of the volcano being angry. But there's undertones of something that's kind of hidden by like the earth moving and rumbling a little bit. You hear kind of what sounds like a roar, maybe. But as far as the rest of your watch, that's all that happens.
Okay. I'll, when the guys wake up, I'll ask, Fallstar. Fallstar, did you hear anything unusual?
There's like a kind of like an earthquake, but it wasn't really that big, and the mountain like had a little bit of lava coming out of it. Not really anything. That was about it. What do you mean?
Yeah. Yes, it is an active volcano, but well, you and I have been beneath mountains before. We know what these seismic shifts sound and feel like, and I think there's something else, something that sounded alive.
I definitely felt something. You know, something pushed the lava out. Something moved the earth. I don't know this area. I don't know the extent of how big this mountain is.
Well,
I don't know if it's part for the course or not.
I think we should use utmost caution.
Yeah.
Can we pilot the thing, I guess, closer to ground level, just around the circumference of the mountain?
Yeah, sure.
Bodies of water we want to keep an eye out for.
Absolutely. You guys pilot it as low to the ground as you can. Try not to be conspicuous. You do like the big thing. It maybe takes you a good like hour and a half to really kind of go low and slow and try to keep a lookout and get around this thing, even at the high speeds of an airship. The terrain below looks just like almost unnavigable. Like there's pools of lava that you can see. Like it looks like completely, like the volcanic glass is completely cold and just normal ground. But every once in a while, you'll just see like where a break, where what looks like just the black ground is actually just like slightly crusted over lava. Where you'll just see something just pour out. It's hard to tell what's lava and what's solid ground. It's insanely hot. It sucks. It smells like farts. Eventually, you turn around and get a long ways the side of the Lake of Fire, and it's exactly that. It's city blocks long and wide. It's just roiling lava that is not crusting over. Every once in a while, you see little bouts of flame out of it. But as you're kind of flying, you see kind of tucked around, nestled in between like the actual mountain itself and the Lake of Fire. The Lake of Fire is kind of stepped up, and then there's the actual mountain. Kind of nestled in between the cleavage of those two is a smaller kind of landing. It looks almost unapproachable. It's just like sticking out, sharp rocks coming out of every direction. There is the shimmer of water.
Nice.
It is a weird ghostly green color. There's kind of shimmer of like when you see soap on the surface of water, there's a weird rainbow kind of effect. It's kind of that on it. This is the size of a small lake. Something you could take, not like a sailing ship on, but something that would take quite a while to row across in a rowboat.
Can I do something that I'm bad at? So
Sure.
I'm just thinking about how this looks and how the last place we went to with all the spines and everything. Was the place where we initially met Quesnaf, did it have any of that kind of like spiny architectural distortion?
White Plume Mountain? No, it didn't. Because White
Okay.
Plume Mountain was kind of a whole man-made facility around a volcano.
Okay.
This looks a lot more natural. Like the glass just kind of shatters into sharp points, like slate or obsidian.
Okay.
It naturally kind of erodes into these sharp points.
Gotcha. That looks like what we're looking for, right?
Yeah, but I don't really want to land the airship in a volcanic lake.
No.
This is gonna be pretty tough to traverse.
There's a rope ladder that comes down.
Yeah, keep it hovering.
Alright, I think we need to survey the temperature of the pool.
Okay.
Because Panther Man said it should be perfectly cool.
You, how far above the lake do you park?
How high is this ladder, Terrence? I'm gonna unspool it on the deck, see how long it is.
It's about 50 feet long.
Oh,
What?
there you go.
1.5 or 5.0?
50.
Okay. Yeah, that should be fine.
Yep.
There's a small beach of where the surface kind of breaks into more glass. Although just like it's maybe 20 feet of that, and then just a straight shot down maybe 200 feet into like broken glass. There's not really there's no gradual hill up to this. Maybe at the very bottom it kind of builds up a little bit, but this is just like a sheer cliff of obsidian. And at the very, very top is this pool, nestled in between the huge volcano and where that Lake of Fire would be. It's just like a completely, cliff.
On off as our climbing master, do you feel like getting your fingers wet?
On off. I don't know if I really want to. Do I have to? I have to go take a dunk in this farty water.
What if
Look,
it's
I'll get to the beach and I'll touch it with my toe or something. All right.
what if it's the Fountain of Youth? You don't know.
Something tells me the Fountain of Youth would smell better.
Do you want a guinea pig before you dive straight in?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I cast what is it? Conjure animals.
No, I got my bag. I can do. You
Oh,
don't have
okay.
to waste a spell. I'll
Do your
use.
thing.
Oh, the fuzzballs?
Yeah. I gotta roll a d8.
Fuzzballs.
I got a bag. I pull out a little fuzzball and I throw it down. And
this is
out comes a baboon.
Oh.
I like to think that you just like you lean over, or you give the fuzzball to on off, and on off kind of looks like I just like put it on the ground. All right, he leans over and just drops the fuzzball off into the lake. I think maybe 20 feet down the fuzzball, there's a poof of smoke, and there's like the baboon kind of forms, and there's a baboon scream, and then there's like a large splash of water, and then just a ruckus as a wet, angry baboon comes breaking from the surface, screaming.
Does he look like he's in pain?
He looks pissed.
How high up are we?
How high up are you?
I think 50, as long as the rope is.
Okay, 50 feet, yeah.
I chuck a javelin down at the monkey.
Roll and attack.
Okay. Wait, what is javelin strength?
Yeah.
Okay. 17.
Yeah, I think that hits. Are you just looking to kill it?
I just wanted to shut up. Yeah.
You just wanted to what?
I just wanted to shut up. I don't know what is it a D4 damage?
D6.
I'm just gonna say you nail it in the head and it dies. It screams, baboons echoing throughout the walls of the lake, and there's just there's a small little poof of dust.
I look around terrified. Like
The lake is upset, ripples kind of coming through into the body of the lake.
I think we need to
Everything's still
investigate
once more.
on foot.
I think the pool is safe. The monkey was fine.
That was horrific. You throw a baboon in some water and you throw a javelin?
He's not a
I
real
would hope I
baboon.
would not constitute the same treatment.
He's not a real baboon. He's like a
He's a-
construct.
He's a
It's a bag baboon. They're not real.
baboon in a bag.
On off, kind of like he's like he doesn't really want to do it, but he does grudgingly. Climbs the ladder, gets down onto the beach. You see him kind of touch the water, stick a foot in, smells it, smells awful. You hear him scream from down below. It's okay. It's not hot. Not
Oh.
hot. Not hot. Not hot.
I believe we found it.
I'll join him down the ladder.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay on the deck and just do perception checks.
Oh shoot. Probably. I think.
Looking around for anything coming from the sky.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
I can make us all walk on water.
15.
Might not want to.
15.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of look up. And start, every once in a while, you know, the kind of tremor of the volcano. You don't really see anything up in like the smog of the natural forming clouds around it. You look down to the lake. You notice in the center of the lake, it looks pretty deep, but there is something reflective down deep in the lake. Something that's glittering off of the sunlight that's passing through the surface of the water.
Can I? This might be a stretch. Can I form the Sword of Galifar into a snorkel?
No, snorkel's not a weapon. You can't make it into a weapon.
Alright.
There has to be a weapon.
Alright, so Terrence will cast Shape Water and just keep a bubble of air around him,
And you just walk it in?
walking down.
Alright.
I think we should all go down.
It's I got a 5-foot bubble.
Yeah, but Ballstar could just make us all water breathe.
There's something down there. I can see there's something big.
No, you might as well scout it.
Yeah, I'm just checking it out.
I keep your earring on. Give us secondly updates.
Alright, I'll continuously talk as I'm walking down there.
Walking in.
It's looking pretty good so far. Lots of kind of black sand down here. Stepping over some rocks.
The first thing you notice is the smell. Sulfury, rotten eggs. This does not seem like water you would drink. You kind of step through, you get to water or eye level, duck down beneath the surface. You go through, and pretty much what you said, black sand, a lot of more of the shining, or the, not shining, the sharp obsidian. As you make your way through, you part the water. You get maybe, say 70 feet down, and it starts to get real steep. You find yourself kind of having to like lean back and to keep your footing a little bit. You end up kind of have to hopping on some of the larger rocks as you get closer to the bottom. Once you get maybe about 100, 120 feet in, as the bubble, the water itself is very cloudy. It's not very clear. It's got this weird kind of opalescent green tint to it. You step through, you kind of jump off one large rock and land, and you notice part of the bubble is where the bubble has like cleared the ground, where the air is still kept. You notice along the bottom of the lake, there are just coins.
Hello.
And as you kind of look up and peer into the murky depths of the lake, you see in front of you this large, like maybe 30 feet long, maybe 10 feet high, a statue of some sort of, it's hard to tell, cloaked figure. It's like facing the opposite way, but it's on its side, and it looks to be made completely of gold.
Oh my god.
And then as you kind of look around, you see more valuable things. You see like cups over here, some chests that are open over here.
There seems to be a hoard of treasure down here. There's more gold here than we could ever know what to do with.
Terrence, you want to come back up? Is that cool?
Yeah, there might be some traps.
You feeling okay?
Yeah. I haven't touched anything yet. Can I do a perception check just to like see how far can I see, and if I
Yeah, sure.
If I spot anything like that could potentially move or set off a trap of any kind.
Absolutely.
That's a 19 natural, so 27.
27. You don't see anything trap-wise, you think. Yeah, nothing that looks... It looks like that it just kind of continues, maybe for another 100 feet, just like all along the bottom, just precious things. As you kind of squint in the darkness, you know, there's one kind of standout feature, like there's a, giant gold statue, but kind of like where the very, very bottom, it looks like a tiling, like roof tiling, kind of sticking up out of the silt and the valuables. There's a little bit of like roof tiling, like that's like off to the side a little bit. And as you kind of like peer into the darkness, you just catch the very hint of the top of a window that's kind of like buried. This building that's like buried at the bottom of this lake.
Okay. I believe I've found our way in. This seems to be the some sort of structure that may have been hinted at in our legends. There's a building, there's a structure under here.
Oh shoot.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You throw out Detect Magic. Your eyes kind of close and you open them back up. There are scattered, every once in a while, small little pockets within like a 100-foot radius around you.
Anything like any of the valuables? Are there any of the valuables magical?
And look, and that's what it kind of looks like.
So like certain things, or like all of the valuables, like the gold.
It's really not all the values, but there's certain pockets kind of laid out in all these valuables. It's difficult for you to see because it's so like inky. But you can see like the weird kind of glowing pockets of it.
Okay, I want to approach one kind of carefully and just get close enough to assess what kind of magic it is.
Okay. You look down. This one in particular seems to be a cup. It is pretty tall. Looks like maybe like a large like medieval goblet. This one has. It looks like there is large opals kind of set into the base of it, and then all along one side of it is small, smoky quartzes. This one kind of radiates a little bit of magic to it.
Okay, there's a lot of magical items scattered around here as well.
Hey, you want to come up quick? I can make it so we can all water breathe. We can all join you, and you can breathe water.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can cast that spell as well.
Okay. Either way.
I would suggest maybe we spend a bit of time gathering some of these and stow them on the ship.
Fine by me.
Okay, I'll trek back up. And how deep is it? How deep did we end up getting?
You got maybe 120 feet from the shore, and it got pretty deep. So it's maybe, I don't know, it got pretty steep. We're talking 30, 35 feet deep.
Okay, so I want to take all of the rope that we have and make a gigantic loop with the rope and tie bags every certain interval, like I don't know, like just a couple of bags throughout that loop. And then I want to also have a second rope with a lifeline attached to my waist.
Okay, and you're gonna be at the head of the loop.
Yeah, so I'll be down. I'm gonna go trek down to the bottom and start piling gold into the bags, and then when I give the word, we can rotate the loop, and they can pull up the bag. And
Okay,
then
where do you get the bags from?
I cast
Be
a
a fair-
fashion bag.
we have fabric, right? Like sleeping bags.
Sleeping bags, yeah.
I sleep in those bags.
Just need two, because that can be filling one while you're emptying one.
You can easily make 2 bags out of it. That's fine.
All right, so I'm gonna spend some time gathering some gold coins, and whenever I come across a magic item, I will talk while grabbing it, and the idea is they'll pull me up on the lifeline if I stop talking.
Okay. How about everybody else?
I'm feeling real paranoid. I'm just still watching the sky. I'm up in the ship.
I guess I can be
Helping
on.
me. Who's helping me gather?
On off, I'll help you gather.
I can be on receiving end at the ship.
We should put what's his name, Enric, on gathering duty. He's got his.
20%.
This is what
Yes,
we
absolutely.
this is what we were talking about. See, we came through.
So he's gonna be down underneath the water, or is he gonna help unload stuff onto the ship?
Now I'll be alone under the water, and we just gotta have people that are holding the lifeline, ready to yank me out,
I'll man the line.
and then someone emptying the bags into the ship.
It's Quincy.
All right. So Terrence, you get all this kind of set up. So Quincy is unloading the bags. Alan Greenspan was doing what?
The lifeline.
Lifeline. So you're on the ship.
Really, I'm doing nothing, but I'm holding the line.
Okay, you're holding the line on the ship,
Yeah.
50 feet up. Balsar's keeping a lookout. Enric is helping underneath.
No, it's just me under there.
He's with me.
Okay, so he's helping unload stuff for Quincy. On-off wants to help you gather as well.
I'm gonna tell everyone to come aboard for a second, and I'm just gonna cast water breathing on everybody
Okay.
before this all happens.
Everybody gets little skills.
You can breathe water for a day.
Terrence climbs down. On-off climbs down. You're just kind of begging Terrence the whole time. Can I come? Hey, Terrence. 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 Hey, Terrence. Can I come? Terrence. Hey, Terrence. Can I come help?
Yes,
Terrence.
yes. There's certain areas that you'll have to stay away from, and there may be some magical dangers.
Wait, we're not taking the magic items?
Oh, I'll assess them as we go, but we'll take most of them.
Alright, sounds good to me. You get down. You begin just scooping into the bags. I think you get like one bag almost full, and you get down. It doesn't look like the gold is like very very deep. It's just kind of scattering among, so you just kind of have to sweep into the bag. Eventually, it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's gems, it's gold, it's copper, it's old coins. You do see a skull, a very weird skull, bigger than a human head. Eyes are almost like 60% of the skull. A very thin mouth with kind of few teeth, very very small, like an alien skull. Kind of a big, dull, domed forehead that kind of like reaches back. That's real interesting to you. It's not jeweled or anything, but it's definitely nothing that you've ever seen before.
I load that right up in the bag.
You come across the second bag. Eventually you hear on-off's like maybe 20 feet away from you. He goes, hey Quincy, or not Quincy's. Fuck, Terrence. You guys get inspiration. Terrence goes, hey Terrence, I got a question.
Yes.
Hey, what? We're not supposed to grab some things, right? I found something.
Stay right there. Don't touch it. I'll be right up.
I have it. You kind of walk over. He's kind of swimming. He's in the bottom. His hair is all. He beckons you over the earring. He goes, so Quincy, I found this. He points down, and among kind of nestled in some gold that's almost kind of barely covering it, there's a bowling ball shaped item, oblong at the top, and it's got what looks it's hissing almost like there's like the water around it's kind of like steaming, like bubbling every once in a while. He points. He goes, "What is that?"
We'll need to work around this for now. Is my detect magic showing anything?
No detect magic.
Okay.
It's not that big.
Damn.
We'll come back to this.
It's like, man, the water's really hot near it. You think that's a volcano thing?
Well, it is natural. I just don't know. let's leave it undisturbed until we
Okay.
cleaned up a bit.
Put all the gold in. Second bag, haul back up. Quincy is dumping it into the airship. Second bag, you send back up. Empty one comes back in. Anok goes, hey, Terrence? Terrence?
Yes.
Hey, 3 more.
Okay.
This one's out of the gold, though. He points, and it's ovoid shape. This one's a little bit bigger, and it's giving out a awful lot more heat. And you can see just cracks. There's just a little bit of like lava light coming from it, like it's like super heated.
Okay, let me can I do like a sort of nature check or a survival check on this?
Yeah, you do a nature check.
Alright. I don't know my nature bonus.
Calm.
My bad.
Just your intelligence.
It's a wisdom, isn't it?
Nope, it's intelligence.
Nature. Oh, it is nice. That's a 21.
That's obviously some kind of egg.
Yeah.
As you kind of you're like, that is some kind of egg. That's weird. You kind of search your eidetic memory, going back through. Specifically, that's a kind of egg that you remember very clearly in a few of the books at Wargrave University.
Dragons.
It's an egg that adventurers are generally told to stay away from. That's a fucking red dragon egg.
God.
That's 4 red dragon eggs.
Okay. Now, do I know if they have any like awareness, or is there some reason that these treasures are like spewing around here?
Dragons tend to hoard different things.
But would they know about it in the egg?
You're not sure.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna tell Anok it's time for us to back away right now.
He's got like an armful of like, there's like candlesticks and like cups. It's like, what? What do you mean?
Just start walking away, just quietly.
Why?
We need to go back.
Why?
These are dragon eggs, red dragon eggs.
Okay. We just stop them.
No, no,
I can stop them.
no, that's not how it works. Please, just listen.
He rolls his eyes. He just drops all the stuff. He just slowly sinks to the floor.
Everyone, prepare yourselves. We need to meet on the shore right now.
What's going on?
There are 4 red dragon eggs. One of them is breaching.
But
That fucker sent us to a red dragon's nest.
Trud, his hackles immediately go up. Seeing the energy that everybody's giving off, his hackles kind of go up, and he just starts like looking around. Everybody's looking concerned.
We need to get onto the ship and move to a safer location right now.
Am I?
Enric doesn't have a thing, so he's just happily like dumping gold onto the deck of the ship, just pointing it out. He's like, "Oh man, that looks like an old coin." That's not the accent, but that's a very old coin. Oh, that's a weird fucking skull. It does. You brought an old skull.
Someone
Old
shut
skull.
up.
Old
I-
skull.
I'm on the deck. I tell him, "Hey, get down, buckle yourself up. We might be moving very quickly.
What?
Fucking buckle yourself in."
Okay, fine. Jesus. He runs downstairs.
Alright, I boogie up to the ship as fast as I can.
I'm
Okay.
like heaving whatever loose gold into a safe place as quickly as I can.
Just like armful by the armful.
Shoving things into closets, yeah, anywhere it'll go where it won't just fly off the deck.
Okay. Yeah, Terrence, you get up to the shore, start splashing out on off behind you. You still got the candlestick in one arm, or in one hand. You get up to the ladder. I think at this point, you hear something just explode from the top of the volcano. There's another large eruption. This one much bigger than the one last night. Boulders start flying off miles with such force. As it erupts, some lightning just from some of the clouds because all the particles get superheated. Out of the smog, like a jumbo jet, a giant red dragon comes swooping out. Not directly towards you, but out of the clouds. It's just colossal and begins circling. Doesn't seem to see you. Behind that dragon are two other smaller red dragons that begin fanning out. That one kind of begins going along the wrong way of the volcano, and the two smaller dragons fan out.
Okay. Are we up to the ship yet? Are we in?
I think you guys are scrambling as that huge, colossal one flies out of the volcano.
Okay. I'm getting up there as fast as I can.
I will hoist him up with the lifeline and tell him to activate stealth.
You're gonna what?
Hoist him up and tell him to activate the stealth mode.
Didn't we already have
well,
that?
he's the pilot.
Okay.
Alright.
Holding him up.
Yeah, as soon as I'm within 30 feet of the cockpit, I'm gonna misty step right into the seat.
As you're getting up, you're maybe 25 feet. You see one of the dragons. It's kind of going over the lake of fire. It looks like the colossal one is making its way behind the volcano. The other one, however, is going straight towards this pool of water. And you see a kind of air brake land in the water. As you're scrambling up, the rope ladder is getting all weird. On-off's behind you. You see it, like, look up. And you just hear it, like, bark? Kind of? Like a like a weird, like, velociraptor sound as it echoes out. It begins to take off and start making its way towards the airship. And you see the other younger one start echoing or start arcing out of Lake of Fire, trailing lava off of it as it was bathing in it, as they both begin convening towards the airship. As you misty step in the cockpit, we'll leave it there for tonight. Pick up next time.
Nice.
Woof.
That'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes.
We got some gold out of it though.
We did get some gold.
Did we get any
All right,
magic?
guys.
Did we get
Have
any
a good
magic
night.
items?
Thank you. See you. Have a good week.
Adios.
Alright,
Thank
You too, man. Good night. Thank you.
Ah.